my lovelies, do you know what? I decided to carry on doing some Halloween stuff. Now, I'm sorry if you can hear my son. He's playing with his friends. I just got back from, did I say Halloween shop? I meant, if I did say it, I meant to say from the pound shop. From shopping for Halloween. I actually went to go and get some more of these pictures. Do you remember we were talking about it? Do you know what? I've decided to go with this Halloween theme until Halloween now. So we've only got a week or two, haven't we? A couple of weeks until Halloween. I thought, you know what? Go with it. I'm absolutely loving doing all of this. And it won't be long before we're all back to doing all our serious projects, and I'll start doing, you know, the boxes, the memory books, and I'll go back to that. But I just really have, I've really had so much fun. So I'm going to carry on. And I thought, you know what, we've got so much stuff in our stash. If you're a Tonic fan like I am, there is so much you can use for Halloween. You know, we've got all these frames. Don't just think that they're for serious projects all the time. You can use them for fun projects. Now, I actually went in to go and get some more of these, but they've sold out. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you how you could cut. I was going to do a very quick tutorial of how you could cut down this inside frame. I'm hoping that it is going to work with a craft knife. We shall see. And back this onto our frames and put a light at the back to put on the wall. But when I was in there, they had these really like cool LED masks. Now, if you look, they turn on, they light up at the side. They're brilliant. They've got this foam on the back, and it's just given me so many ideas of other things that you can do in normal projects. I say normal projects, but projects that are not Halloween or Christmas or anything. But even for Christmas, this is giving me such, it's really given me some ideas. But they had these, and they also had, there was a Dracula one, but I have to say I was quite bowled over with these ones because I thought these looked really spooky and Halloweeny. And then I thought, you know what, we could frame this and make it into a picture. You know, we've got our frames. I used, it's this one. It's my go-to frame. I use it all the time. The tailored frames, Shallow Bay. It is the Tonic tailored frames. I mean, listen, if you don't have, I was thinking that I am doing YouTube videos, and you know, I'm a Tonic fan. That's my go-to product. I love Tonic. But I'm just aware, if you're not a Tonic fan, you can make these frames. Just pop into YouTube tutorials on how to make paper frames and they'll come up. And they're not that difficult to do. They're really not. But if you do have your die cutting machines, like I do, and like some of you I know I do have them, then what I'm saying is use them for projects, you know. And I thought this would be a really little fun one, a very quick one. All I've done on this, I haven't quite finished it, but I just wanted to come and tell you what I'm doing. All I did was elongate this frame. Now, there is a tutorial that I have done showing you how to make these frames longer without having to stick them together. But I will say it as a disclaimer, as I said before, do not do your warranties in. Because when I make these frames longer, I'm bringing my dies off of my machine. And I wouldn't want you to do your warranties in on any of your die cutting machines. If it affects them, as I suspect it will on most of them, please don't do it, and just get your frames. Go and have a look at my tutorial, go and have a look and I show you, and just add one into the other. Now, because this is a Halloween project, adding one into the other is not going to make any difference whatsoever. It'll add to it will give you a nice feature. It will give you, you know, a nice little feature on all the corners. I have actually cut these ones down. This is not the length of them. I have cut these down, but you can get the same effect. You can get an even longer one if you cut the actual length of these. I'm not sure what they go up to, 20 something, maybe 25 centimeters. I'm not sure, but you will get a length. Can I measure it? I don't know if I've got enough to measure this. Give you a rough estimate. 30, about 36 centimetres. So about 36 centimetres on each side. In inches, it's roughly, what have I done? Roughly 15. Roughly 15. And then I just cut one out here at the top. Oh, actually, I can tell you how big it is. I can tell you how big the frames are. 25.5 centimetres they are, the normal size. So potentially you could go up to 50 centimetres, but because you see him, I'll just move that. Can you see? That's where the frame ends. You see? Now we're backing it on black, but this is just the start of just doing something for the wall, and I thought this was really fun and creepy. So all I've done is I've taken the tailored frames, I elongated them, and we've got our length at the side. You can rough it out. It's just a rough project. We don't have to be worried about measurements. Just rough it out, elongate it like I did, and just rough out the length. You know, it's just this is just something to go on the wall. But all I did was then take. Now, if you haven't got these, you can always use something else instead. You don't have to use what I've used. You don't even have to make this a light up frame around the side. You could just go ahead, you know, go onto YouTube, put in frames made of card, and you'll get the frames. And you can just do that and maybe stick things on them if you don't have the die cuts. But I just took the spider. There you go, you can just see it. The spider intricate part on the coffin dies, I just took that long square part out, sorry, rectangle, not square, sort of rectangle, and I just cut in the intricate detail. Now all I've done is I've taken some vellum and I've just inked it with a pen, and I've just stuck that underneath. So while they're open, you just stick your vellum, you cut, it does come with a piece in it if you're using this, and you can cut it out or just rough out a piece of vellum and stick that on the back before you stick your frames. I haven't stuck my frames down yet, but I had to come on and tell you about this because I just thought this is really fun, and it just turns this mask into something else, and it's cheap. It's a cheap do-it-yourself project, and a fun project, another fun project to do with the kiddies at home. You know, my son, he's enjoyed doing little bits. He's not that, you know, enthusiastic. He likes the computer, I guess, like most of your kids do. But all I did, look, was just take two old lights, the little switch-on lights, and all I did was just draw sort of squiggly lines, can you see, to make them look like eyes underneath. I mean, it doesn't really matter, you're not going to see that too much at the back. But what I will do is I will come back and just give you a very quick tutorial on how to do it. It's pretty straightforward. All we're going to do is, we've got some lights. Where are we? We've got, look, you know, again from the same shop. There's Christmas is coming now. I'm not sure if they had any in there today. These were some I bought from there ages ago. I think they had things on them and I took them off. So any of your old lights will do. This is so cheap to make. I mean, what, £1, maybe the battery's £1, £2, £3, £4, £5, and you can get lots out of it, you see. So it's just a nice little cheap project, and it's homemade, and it will look lovely. So what I'm going to do is come back. I'm going to show you how to stick these down, right? And it's very straightforward. It's only when it comes to the part at the back. So sticking this all down, because we want him coming up from the frame, but we don't want that to be seen at the back, you know, in the sides. But we do want him coming out of the frame. So we are going to, I think what I have to do is cut some circles in the back, and we'll make a little backing just to stick them on. Now, thinking on it now, I haven't really thought this through. We're going to need somewhere to put our battery pack. So I'm wondering if we can maybe use that as the hanger at the top. We want it flat, so we may, rather than, see, if I was doing a you know, really neat project, then what I would have to do is cut that out again and then stick one on the back, and then you can hide all your lights. Maybe I'll come back and do that and do it properly. But isn't this a fun idea? Just a different way of using these masks, and you can get them. You can get them. They had loads. They had a Dracula one as well. So if you've got a Dracula themed party, you could do a Dracula themed party. You know, whatever you're doing. But if you really wanted to go to town with these, you could not just do one portrait, you could have 3 different ones. You could, I didn't pick up the Dracula ones, I only picked up a few of these. Or, you know, go and get a few of these and you could make like 3 together in a line, couldn't you? Which would look really good, because sometimes when you do multiples of the same, it just looks really good. So what I'll do is I will come back, I'll show you how to finish those off round the sides. A very quick project. Also, just before I go, 2 more things. One is, if you, excuse me, I should have put some water up. If you have any old polystyrene heads, now I'm sure you've seen millions and millions of tutorials, where are we, online, of how to use these, you know, the heads. Cut them down and you can use them to stick on, again, making it a cheap frame and turning it into, you can get some cobweb and put some cobweb in there instead. So halve that, stick that on. You would probably need to maybe use cardboard and paint it black at the back. I wouldn't recommend you sticking it on the card because it's going to go all funny. But all these little fun projects, and this is what I'm saying, if you have the tailored frames, Tonic fan like myself, and you have these tailored frames, then do, I'm not promoting sales by the way, it's just I'm a Tonic fan and I come on and do projects. It's just, it's Halloween, so we're doing a little bit something fun for Halloween. Just before I go, I just wanted to go back to the spell book. This is where you can turn off. Oh, I will do this one as well. We'll come back and quickly do that. We'll cut round there, right? If you got these, I'm sure lots of people might have. I don't know. Some children might find them too scary. You decide what you're going to do. But we will cut round this inside frame. We will lift it and then we'll back it with lights. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. But we'll lift it, back it with lights, and then you've got a lit up, you know, scary. We'll make something out of that. Right. Just to let you know, now I don't know if any of you were watching, I've been doing, I made a spell book, right? So you can switch off if you're not a Tonic fan now, because I'm going to come back to this and I'll just do a very quick tutorial just to show you how I put it together. But whoever was watching, I did the spell album. Now I had forgotten, right? I had forgotten all about this, and I used it the other day for the spine. I was so silly, I didn't think about it. But this one went with the memory book too, if you have it. It's called the Treasured Time embossing folder. Is it? Yes. Treasured Tome embossing folder, and I use these, if anybody watches my channels, I use these when I did the light up books, the little tiny keepsake books, but I'd forgotten all about it. Now listen to this for an idea. When you do if you're doing spell albums, and if you're going back to the part where I put the spell, you know, I spelt it out, I stuck everything down before I put my tissue paper over it. If you have this, okay, if you do have this, use it. Emboss it and die cut it, because this is where, if you can see, can you see that? That's where your book is. So this is actually made to fit your book. And you can use this on the front and the back. So what I'm saying is, if you didn't have anything else and you did have these, this is going to make your spell book look really good. honestly, it's going to look really good. And if you have this intricate die part, all you've got to do is really emboss this. Make sure you've got a really nice emboss on one that you've done. Then all you're going to do is cut that 6 times, because if you've got the die cut, I might have to come back and do it, because I just thought, rather than you going out and buying other bits and bobs, you could do it that way, and it would make the book really nice actually. It'd be a different way of using the embossing folder. I have had so many ideas since I've been doing all these Halloween things for, you know, normal everyday things, you know, normal everyday craft making. So, right, that was quick. Right, I'm going to, oh, it's my die machine. Right, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we're going to thread those through. I shall just cut another 4 of these out very quickly, just to show you how we're going to get the back, you know, the back done. And I will show you, it's very straightforward. You know, if you look, that's where I've backed my vellum on the back. And then all we're going to do after you've backed your vellum is just stick that down, you know, nice and straight. And before we lock them into each corner, we will feed our lights through. So we'll feed them all the way through and then bring them up at the back. If you don't, I'll say it one more time, if you don't have a die cutting machine, I'm aware that some people probably won't, then you could do this idea anyway. Go and have a look and see how you make those yourselves. The cardboard frames, they're really easy, quick, easy project with the children this half term. And maybe you can put some lights around it, you know, feed the lights, sort of, if you have the thinner ones that are on a wire, maybe just wire them round the frame before you stick it down. You'd have to have the thin ones to do it, you know, the thin LED wire lights. If you can't put them inside, wire it round, all the way around, and then maybe just to hide some of the wire, just, you know, get your spiders out. We've had loads from projects, and put them over to hide it. So right, I'm going to come back. We're going to do this. I thought it was brilliant, and I can't wait to see what this is going to look like in the dark, because I think this is going to look really, really fun. So I will see you back here, and hopefully we'll get this done today. Thank you for watching. Bye.